Hey crafty friends, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda. And just as a reminder, you can really help me out if you like my videos and it doesn't cost you anything. As always, I'm going to start with my photos as my inspiration, and all of the writing on the back is done by my grandfather. So any tools and supplies that I use during this process will also be listed under the video, so you can find them here. And I'm starting with the Cosette papers that just came out in the new April to June idea book. And if you haven't gotten yours yet, any order that you place close to my heart will send one to you. This, to me, paper, when I first saw it, it was like, been there, done that. And then I realized I have all of these wonderful heritage photos that have come into my world, and these colors, the general theming of it, I think can work for all of that. So I was very excited. Now I gathered some toffee, the pine, and black cardstock. I knew with my brother's photos I didn't want to go down the mulberry or peach road, because those are also colors that are in this paper, and I think honey butter is one of them too. And so I'm just trying to kind of do a general idea of what direction I want to go with this layout. I know I have 4 photos, so it's one of those that I think when you do scrapbooking and you look at sketches or you look at other people's layouts, you kind of get a feel for, okay, if you're working with even number photos, you kind of need to have other things in pairs or even to help your eye on it. So that's exactly what I was trying here. So I showed you how I finished cutting out the square, the frame from the pine cardstock by just doing 1-inch center out of the pine, and then I cut my Cosette with all of the leaves and the butterflies and birds and all of that down to an 11 by 11. And then, as I was trying to say with my 4 photos, I thought if I had 2 stripes that my photos were kind of anchored on, almost like a ribbon is how I'm envisioning it. So I measured how wide my photos were. They're just like 4 1/4, a little better than. So I cut my strips down to 2.5, and then because of the zip strip on this paper, I thought, it has that lace doily look edge, so that would work. But as I'm putting the photos down here and I'm trying to work with it, it just is not working. It's not, the background is too busy, the photos are getting lost. So then I grabbed some mist cardstock to put it behind, and I think part of what was bothering me is having those 2 strips. So I'm going to use the scraps or the leftovers from that mist leaf paper that's there on the right, kind of as my anchoring piece that'll cross over my frames and just kind of give a focal point for my photos. And then I'm also going to stagger my photos. So I have these 2, this is my aunt in both of these photos holding my brother, and then below my brother is together as well. And at first I was concerned about making sure of which direction my brother was facing and making sure that that wasn't like that he wasn't looking off the end of the page. But how this turned out, I think it's fine. And then I'm also showing you here that I matted these one on top of the other so that I knew they were the exact same size and they weren't going to kind of be out of proportion. So I'm going to go ahead and with mist ink up all the edges of the photo mats along with my journaling that I had copied and printed on cardstock from the back of the photos. And I use liquid glue when I'm adhering frames or layers on my scrapbook pages. I don't like to have those gaps, and so I just use a liquid glue and press that down. I'm using the Versamat to make sure that it's lined up. You could use your T-square ruler as well. I find I do okay with my eyes. I did ink all the edges of the paper. You can kind of see that on the mist leaf paper here, that the edges do have a darker frame. And again, that just helps it stand out against that busy background. And I decided that having it go from the 10-inch mark over worked well for me. I didn't know that it was 5 inches wide. It just happened to be what was left. So that's what works out. And you'll notice I put the adhesive on the back, but I did not press it down. I gently laid it on my layout because I want to have both of those units together so that I can figure out how they're going to interact or overlay on one another. So here I'm just playing with it. Do I want a space? Do I want them overlapped? Do I want them overlapped differently? I'm trying to make sure that they're within the frame on the right hand side, but still allowing some room on the left hand side. And this is what I decide. So for me, it's a matter of make a decision and go to the next step and go to the next step. I think that's why I like using sketches, because I can take inspiration and run with it, but when I'm stuck for an idea, I can go back and look at the sketch and it's like, oh, they put an embellishment cluster here, or their title went over here. And so you can kind of, I don't want to say cheat, but I can use their ideas. So I did decide that for this one set of journaling, I'm going to put it on a tag. And since I didn't glue down that mist leaf paper fully, I wanted to do that so that the tag doesn't accidentally get stuck or jam under the side. So I did add some liquid glue and used my Cricut spatula to just kind of burnish that down and let that dry a little bit while I was making the tag. I didn't use my thin cuts. It was one of those that I just cut a tag, cut the corners, added a circle for the top, used the extra cardstock that I had out to make 3 other little tags. I was thinking I would need them for cluster kind of anchoring to give me some balance of color on this page. So that's what I was doing. And then I also am taking this old bronze shimmer trim, which I think just works beautifully with this paper. I know that black is one of the colors in it, but this bronze, to me, it just works. It's perfect. So I glued it together so I would have the sparkle on both sides, and then it's a little bit too wide for using as string for my tag. So as you can see, I just cut that down with my cutter, and I did that with the one big tag and then 3 littler tags. This that I'm inking up right here is something that I cut out of one of the papers from the Cosette. It has all of these ephemera pieces that you can cut out. So now I'm taking a look at the stickers, and it's funny, I'm trying to find balance between adding more embellishments and not overwhelming what's already going on this page. There's a lot to take in with the Cosette papers, with the clock and the butterflies and the foliage and the leaves and the little postcard mark. So there's a lot going on. So I think the tags kind of help bring your eye to those places. So I have the tag that talks about where they are and my Aunt Sue and my brother in the upper left. Then I have this tag that I'm working on now, and I pulled this postcard off of the sticker sheet. And then under my wrist is that 3rd tag, which again kind of surrounds all of the photos on this page, which again is just helping your eye know what to look at. And then there was these 2 words, love this, that was on the sticker sheet. And I am terrible about using the stickers. I leave them there, or I don't incorporate them, and I'm trying to do that more. So I went ahead and it's like, go ahead and use these. You're not going to save them for a rainy day, just use them. And then these are old gems that I had from Close to My Heart. They were kind of a smoky silver, and again, I think that color, the tones of it work so well with this Cosette paper. The silver would work as well, but that smoky just has that aged feel to it, kind of like wood that's ambered, or eyeglasses and that kind of have just that old vintage feel to them. And this is it. I've went ahead and snuck a tag in as part of my journaling. I don't really have a title for this. It'll go on my mom's album, but it is my brother and my aunt, and it's all when they were in New Jersey and Bridgeport, Connecticut. So they had traveled during this trip, but I have from August 11th to August 15th. This is how you can connect with me on social media. I will have all of the supplies and tools that I love to use in the description. If you have any questions, just ask and I'll be happy to help you. If you like my videos, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows to share it with others. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.